Today we are rebuilding Atletico Madrid in 5 seasons. Reason for it, I think they actually need a bit of a change. I think Simeone has possibly took them to their limit.
Yeah.
And he has done well for them, don't get me wrong. They've won a league, they've got Champions League finals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've won a couple of Europa Cups as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but
So,
I think with financial trouble, and it kind of looks like that some of the results this year are a little bit rocky. I don't think the team is gelling as well. I think this could be the downfall right now.
I think at the moment they've got to a stage now where they're the third most successful side in Spain, and he just can't get past that one point.
No.
Whether it's money-wise or nothing like that, I don't think it is, because I think they've tried to buy certain players and then they've bought a couple. So maybe it just change somewhere along the line needs to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, they made 2 Champions League finals, but lost both of them.
Yeah.
So, and when they did make that final, I didn't know this, but it was the first time in history that 2 teams from the same city.
Yeah, I remember that happening. Yeah.
And
lost both times.
Yeah, they missed the season, and then they were in the final again, and it was Real Madrid again.
Yeah,
they lost again. So
yeah,
bit of bad luck for them, really. But
absolutely. But yeah, okay. So this is what we have, and finances. Yeah, there's a big debt. So we've got in total 368 original debt, 122 remaining, but the transfer debt is the problem as well. We've got a bit of a transfer debt going on. Wages are really high. The squad that we have right now, we do have like a lot of money in some of the players, like João Felix, for instance, but we are also carrying a lot of big wages. For instance, Griezmann's on loan.
He's better be the biggest one, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen what's been happening in La Liga this season with Antoine Griezmann.
Nope.
So there's a clause in his contract that if he plays more than 60 minutes or something like that per game, then Atletico Madrid have to pay Barcelona more money. So what have they been doing?
Taking him off in the 59th minute?
No, he's been starting on the bench and coming on the 61st.
Hey.
Yes. So that's what's been happening every single time. And I think Barcelona are trying to sue Atletico Madrid for doing it.
Do what they want, can they? It's their team, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But there we go. So we've got this team right now, and we don't have a lot of money. We've done the transfer update, but we're not that far into the future in the date-wise. So we are like last season's date, but with this season's transfer update, we don't have any money. So I decided first season, don't bring anybody else in. They did spend £101 million, but I didn't bring... Oh, I did actually bring somebody in. I lied. The reason for it is because I sold Alvaro Morata. For some reason, Man City want him. I mean, they just got Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
So they wanted Alvaro Morata as well. And I thought we really needed a good right back. So I brought in Danilo from Juventus. There are better right backs out there, but for what we could bring in, he is 30 as well.
Oh, yeah, it's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but he can play across the back 3.
Yeah.
There is another problem, I think, with Atletico Madrid's team in that age-wise, yes, they have a couple of really good youngsters. If you look down here, there is a few in that first team. Of course, the star man being João Felix. They paid over 100 million euros for him.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people who are around about 30. So in 5 years' time, they're going to all need replacing. And a couple of their really good players too. So the likes of Koke, who is arguably their best midfielder, he's going to be needing replacing and things like that. This is the team that we are dealt with. Tactically, it's a really tough team to build a tactic around.
Yeah.
Because there's just gaps. Like right midfielder, there's not really a player there. So playing with wingers is a little bit tricky. They've got 2 really good wingers though, Carrasco and Thomas Lemar. Obviously they got Sergi Reguilon, but they actually do play with wing backs in real life. They used to. I don't know whether they still do. I haven't really studied what he does at the minute. And this is what I'm rocking with. So I've got a centre midfielder on attack who should be up and down this bit here. Shadow striker's prime position for João Felix. The advanced forward, Griezmann should be in there right now. I think my favourite player though is Marcus Llorente, because he literally is one of the best players in every single position in the middle and on the right.
Yeah.
So I'm not filling any positions. Wherever he goes, he'll be the best in that position, because I think even at right back, yeah, he's one of the best positions there. But we got 4 in midfield here and 1 up front, because I think midfield is where we are stacked. We've got Koke, Witsel, Saul, Rodrigo de Paul, Kondogbia. We've got all of these fantastic midfielders. We need to bring them on the pitch.
Yeah.
We also might be a little bit weak at the back too, but we do have Jan Oblak, who's one of the best goalkeepers on the game. So happy with that. So I think this is the way to go for now, and we'll see if we progress through that. But what is the schedule been like using this? Well, so far 3 games, 3 wins.
Not bad.
Yeah, Valencia being the only. Well, I suppose Celta Vigo's a bit of a. Actually, those 3 games are actually quite challenging. I'll take that back. Betis is what we know is quite good. So the fact that we haven't even conceded a goal yet is also promising. That halfback dropping in to be a third centre back always helps. A 2-0 away win to start things off against Betis. A 2-0 home win, against Valencia. And a 1-0 away win to Celta Vigo. Now, one of your favourite phrases, Dad, is gotta win your home games.
Yeah.
I think the epitome of being really good at home is Atletico Madrid.
Oh, 100%. We've said it all the way through all our videos that we do. Anytime in Europe we draw against Atletico Madrid, I always say to you tonight, what an awful place, an horrible place to go to.
Yeah.
A hard place to go and win.
Absolutely.
They are phenomenal at home.
Yep. The fans are incredible. No. The fans are incredible.
Yeah. And we've touched on that with our fans as well, and we've
very, very loud. And considering the style of play that Diego Simeone adopts, like I watched both games against Man United last year, it was horrendous.
Yeah.
Like it was awful games of football. The fans are loud all the way through. So credit to them. Because they have to put up with that. I guess like they don't mind because he is winning stuff for them. Like in this tenure that he's been there, about 10 years, 11 years now.
You just know when they go ahead, there's going to be so much time wasting.
Yeah.
And if they go behind, there's just going to be so much fouling. They'll just kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, and then complain that there's time wasting.
Yeah.
And you think that's a little bit of hypocrisy going on there. But we do have Champions League football, and this is our group. We've got Besiktas, Wolfsburg, and PSG in our group. I know what you're going to say. You're expecting to go for at least second in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's how the group will finish. Well.
I think so as well, to be fair. I think Wolfsburg, although they are good, they are missing a few players since they qualified for the Champions League. Besiktas have got a good team since the update. Okay, so that's our team. That's our tactic. Let's simulate this first season. Alright then, first season, third place, where you'd probably expect us to be.
Could have said that before it happened.
Yeah. Barcelona being incredible, finishing on 100 points, only losing 2 games this season. We finished still 9 points behind second place, but 11 points, no, 9 points? Yeah, 9 points above fourth. So we're in a league battle.
See, Real Madrid only lost 2 as well. So
they're drawing games. They're drawing 8 games there. They drew against Bilbao and Barcelona. So did we draw against them? Yeah, so we drew against Barcelona, but we lost both games against Real Madrid, and that's probably our problem there.
That's Derby as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So Real Sociedad's got Europa League football there, so either they've won the EC2 or a cup, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, not bad. What about the other competitions then? How have we done in the Champions League and the Copa del Rey? Wow, we actually got knocked out. Besiktas knocked us out.
Oh.
And then Marseille knocked us out of Europa League.
Bad.
And third round as well of the Copa del Rey. It's a very poor season for us
very poor.
in the cup competitions. Not so bad in the league where we're probably expecting.
I think the Champions League is the biggest disappointing.
Yeah.
Third, I expected to come third.
Besiktas won 3 games. They beat us at home 3-0, but they also beat PSG, which is the reason why. They won all their home games, Dad. You go to Turkey, it's a difficult game. Besiktas, it's probably Dele Alli. That's probably what it is.
Right. What a boy, eh?
What a player. So your favourite player, I know you were gutted when he left Spurs.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so that's not... It's disappointing, but it's something to build on. It's something to build on. Let's take a look at our goals. And João Felix was our top scorer with 20 goals. So even though Griezmann was here, and how good Griezmann is, only 17 goals.
Yeah.
It's very poor. So I won't be activating the £40 million to sign Antoine Griezmann. There's a fact about Griezmann that he's been playing in La Liga for his whole career, and he's played for Barcelona and Atletico Madrid and never won a league title.
What a shame.
He goes to one and then the other one's the league title. So that's unfortunate for him. But there we go. So I won't be activating that. And then another reason why I won't be activating it is our money. £4 million.
We've got to sell someone, you know.
Yeah.
Right? You can sell him. Or, we can't sell him.
No, you can't.
Back,
yeah, we'll get the wages back, but we won't be able to sell him, unfortunately. We are getting players back on loan. We got Renan Lodi out on loan, Samuel Lino and Marcus Paulo, but they're not worth a lot of money, and that's the trouble. And if you're not being very good, your value isn't obviously going to increase. So it's kind of a double-edged sword right there.
I'll tell you an interesting thing I found on here as well was in 1992, they actually closed their youth academy down. So
really?
They was in a lot of money trouble then.
Yeah.
And they had to close it. They had an interesting 15-year-old on their books at the time, and he went on to be a big striker in Spain.
Was it Raul?
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Imagine that, eh?
Yeah, I remember seeing that story.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? That was one of my all-time favourite players. Yeah. I remember when David Beckham went to Real Madrid, and we used to watch a little bit of La Liga football back then. I fell in love with Raul.
Yeah,
I got his shirts and everything.
Yeah.
What a player. Absolutely adored Raul. But yeah,
imagine that having a
mental.
You brought him through all the youth academy and all that, get to the stage where he's just about to sign a professional, and you close it all down and off he goes to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he turns up like a striker like that.
Yeah. That would be like if Everton got rid of their youth academy in 2002.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, well, Wayne Rooney. You could have had Wayne Rooney, but you didn't. So there we go. Okay, let's go on to the second season and see what we can do. Right, so you mentioned about selling players. I sold Yannick Carrasco. He was about one of the only players that had a little bit of value to his name. And because we weren't necessarily playing wingers, which is his best role, he can't play left wing back, but we've got a couple of players who can do that. AC Milan came in for 45 million.
Makes sense to get rid of him, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So he's a player who's been around the block and then moved to China when he was like in his prime, and everybody was like, what are you doing? Come back to Atletico Madrid.
Money.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But now he's gone to Italy with AC Milan for 45 million pounds. That's a good move for him, I think, and some brought in some money for us to make a big signing. Now I have done that. So I actually made two signings. We'll start off with this one, Javier Galan. He is a left back. I mentioned that we've already bought a left back. Oh, well, we've got some left back, but Sergi Reguilon was on loan last season. From Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I didn't secure that deal as a loan to buy. I don't know whether we had the option. I can't actually remember now. But Javi Galan, I brought him in instead because I like him. I've used him before. And £20 million, I think, is really good value for money with how good he is on this game. So bring him in as a decent left back, 27 years of age. The main signing is Ivan Nielsen, who is a striker, 22 years of age. I feel like this is a very realistic signing for Atletico Madrid. They went for somebody like that. Obviously, they've bought players from the Portuguese league before, like João Felix you mentioned, but £30 million for Porto striker. He scored 20 goals last season.
Games. Good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So happy with that. He's got 1 and 1 assist so far for us this season, but he's only 22. He's young. He's very talented. He's got player traits that I like. He's got the speed. He's got everything that I like about a striker, and he can play on the left should we ever need him to. Good signing, I think.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So using that money to bring in 2 players is definitely what I had in mind. But again, they didn't give us anything else. So we've literally exhausted all of our funds. We got a bit in the wage budget, but loaning players on FM22 is impossible when you're in the top divisions. Hopefully that's a big change that happens in FM23. And if you're looking to pre-order FM23, by now you should have seen some of the new features that have come out. If that's what you want to do, you can on 2game.com, and I've got a discount code for you when you use code OMEGA. It gives you an extra 5% off. It's cheaper than Steam, and then obviously you just put in the Steam code and you got the game there to pre-order with beta access as well. So thank you to everybody who's been doing that because it does help me financially. Okay, so tactically then, we have changed it. We've gone slightly different. We've gone slightly asymmetric as well. So as you can see, we've got no right-hand side attacking force, but we've got the shallow striker, which would be, of course, João Felix.
Yeah.
We've got the wing back who'll be bombing up and down, but on the left-hand side, we've got an inside forward to help out as kind of a secondary striker. We've got Thomas Lemar, who's really good at that. Rodrigo de Paul, Angel Correa can also do that too. We've got the wing back there, Javi Galan. Renan Lodi's come back off loan, so we've got a good couple of players who can do that role as well as filling out this midfield, which we have obviously bought the players. We've already got the players for, sorry. Ivan Nielsen's picked up an injury though. It's going to be out for a couple of days longer, so that's not too bad. I thought it would be worse than what it actually is. But he is going to be the only player that I am securing in the position. I want him playing striker as much as possible. So, schedule. We have done very well at the start of the season. We've played 5 games so far, 5 wins. Only one challenging game, I'd say, and that is a 5-0 win to Villarreal.
What a result that was.
Yeah, very good. And spread across 4 goal scorers as well. Rodrigo de Paul, João Felix getting one on the end there. Very good result indeed, but only conceding in 2 of the games as well. 1 against Cadiz and 2 against Real Sporting. So I think that's some really good results so far this season. Now, with this being a World Cup year,
say, look at the result, the games that we've got.
It's a little bit weird, isn't it?
2 Champions League games, then Real Madrid, then another Champions League game.
Yeah, so it's a little bit strange, but there we go. Our Champions League group, we do have a tricky one.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Sporting
and Man City with PSV Eindhoven. Gotta get out of them.
I mean, because we know the players that Man City have got and the way they're playing at this present moment, it's between us and Sporting, I reckon, to go for a second. But
yeah, and Sporting have been doing actually really well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like, in real life, obviously, they played quite well, and Atletico Madrid are struggling in the Champions League this season. We've seen they lost to Bayer Leverkusen. They undeservedly, I think, beat Porto, who were down to 10 men. I thought Porto was all over them, and that was the home leg. And Atletico Madrid managed to pinch a win there, so there is something that they are struggling with.
At the beginning of the programme, isn't it? We do think they're on their way down a little bit. Things have got to change there.
Yeah, I agree, which is the reason why I picked to do them today, is to see if we can do anything different. But okay, so expectations are we qualify through above, obviously, Sporting. Rodrigo de Paul, 5 goals in 5 games so far from centre midfield. Highlight.
Good.
Good, very good. Right, okay, let's simulate the second season. Second season, second place.
Happy with that. Only 3 points off them as well.
Only 3 points. We've closed the gap. Barcelona dropped down to 4th place as well. Sevilla was up there, 2 points behind us. There's a lot more of a closer league table than what it was last season. For comparison, obviously, the gap between the top 2 last season was 26 points. This time round, only 6 points. So it's a lot more of a closer league campaign, which is better, I think, especially for the viewer.
I mean, we still lost 9 games. To lose 9 games and come second.
I know, it's not bad, is it? It's because we only drew 2. We actually won the same amount as Real Madrid, but we just lost more than what they did.
Yeah.
They drew 5 games and only losing 6. So it's not bad at all. So if we take a look at the profile, we got a top scorer. We do. Ivan Nielsen, our new signing, beats off Robert Lewandowski to the top goal scorer there, 21 goals. It's a bad season for Lewandowski, only getting 21.
He has started this season, by the way, hasn't he?
Unbelievable, isn't it? What a striker. He has got to win like a Ballon d'Or by the end of his career. I think it will go to Benzema at the end of this season. But I'm really hoping Lewandowski wins it next season.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, I think so too. So he actually was the highest average rating despite not winning the Golden Boot. Ivan Nielsen obviously did that. Toni Kroos getting the most assists and also up there too. Okay, other competitions then. How have we done? Tottenham Hotspur knocked us out of the bloody quarterfinal.
Did they?
Tottenham Hotspur. And again, the Copa del Rey is only the 3rd round. Disappointing. Very disappointing tie. Champions League. Lost to Manchester City in the final. Tottenham.
I'm disappointed because we got beat by an English side, but I'll take it to think that we got that far.
Did he score? Finalists.
Did the main man score both goals?
Well, Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Oh, he got one.
He scored the penalty in the 88th minute, but by then Erling Haaland had already scored and you were already 2-0 down because Kevin De Bruyne also scored on the 82nd minute. So, there we go. Has Bielsa took over yet? He usually does. No, Conte's still there for now, but there we go. Okay, not good for the Spanish side, though, because when both clubs get into the final are English teams, it means the Spanish teams have not done very well at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just seen there we were knocked out in the quarterfinals, which we can take a look where the other teams there. Barcelona managed to get through to the semi-finals and then obviously getting knocked out. Real Madrid, no. Bayern Munich also got to the semi-finals too.
See Liverpool there as well. So there's 4 British teams in
the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. Squad-wise, we've seen Ivan Nielsen scored more goals. He got 35. That's better. Rodrigo de Paul got 18. Thomas Lemar got 16 as that inside forward. João Felix I'm a bit disappointed with.
Yeah, but it's still 4 players over 10, isn't it?
Yeah, but João Felix is supposed to be one of the highlights on this game, especially for this team and in that shallow striker role. I'm a little bit disappointed that he's wanted, but his value's gone down massively.
He had 11 assists though as well with that. So,
yeah.
You know, the other guy scored 35 goals. Lose 11 assists, probably put him to win.
Yeah, very true. It's the second highest amount of assists. Javi Galan, also the left back, getting 12 as well, so that's not too bad. I think Marcus Llorente has been playing quite a lot at right wing back. His valuation's gone through the roof because of how well he's been playing in that role. But money-wise, only 5 million. They're ruining us.
Yeah.
Like, what are they expecting me to do with these finances? I mean, we are in the red, don't get me wrong, but what am I supposed to do? I can't just sell the whole club and restart. That's a bit unrealistic, really. It's going to have to try a bit of wheeling dealing.
That's all you can do, innit?
Yeah.
You got to sell to buy, so.
3rd season, let's see what happens. Now, this was our whole transfer window.
Yeah.
One signing in for £5 million, couple of signings out for 3.2. Hardly anything happening in the market.
Oh well.
Very difficult. One of the hardest, I'd say, summer windows that I've ever done on a rebuild. There was literally like silly offers coming in for like Jose Jimenez, our star man at the back, and silly offers coming in for João Felix. I was never going to accept. But our only signing in was Patrick Berg, 25-year-old Norwegian midfielder. For the money, he's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but we should be looking for a little bit better player than this if we are looking to progress.
Really.
Yeah.
Squad player.
Yeah, because we have got like 3 or 4 players in that midfield role. He's played at Bodo Glimt all of his career so far, but £5 million is a steal. So it's a good signing, don't get me wrong, and he is very good mentally on the game. He's fantastic, like positioning wise, absolutely exceptional. So if we take a look at the tactic then, we are still going to go with the same as what we had last season. We have changed around a few of the roles though. For instance, a DM now there, and we've dropped this role back to an inverted wing back instead of the wing back that it was before, and an inverted wing back on this side. I'm trying to stop those losses from happening, because then we've kind of got very similar situation going on here. The winger instead of the inside forward, because Thomas Lemar is actually left-footed, so it's going to benefit him a little bit more, and he has that crossing ability of 15. I like that.
We've got to do something different. I mean, Barcelona lost a lot of games. Is the only reason why we come second.
Yes, yeah.
So we've got to be doing something different to change it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my thinking is, if we get the ball to Thomas Lemar and he's crossing the ball in, we got shadow striker João Felix coming on to the ball, then that should be the way to go going forward. He's a very good finisher of the ball. It's just whether, I don't know, he just doesn't seem like he's playing that well. But we'll see how it goes anyway. So, how well has that done so far this season? It didn't do too good. A 5-0 loss to Real Madrid. We did have a player sent off as well, but that was the 83rd minute. By then, we were already 4-0 down.
Yeah. Not ain't good at all, is it?
No, but they do have an exceptionally good team. Because I thought, friendly against Arsenal, and we battered them. Yeah. I was like, oh, this tactic's going to be amazing. We could be winning the league. Nope. No. We also drew 1-0 to Espanyol, which is a poor result as well. João Felix getting our only goal in that game too. So we have not started things off very well. We're 14th in the league. Champions League, let's take a look. We've got Arsenal again. We know we can beat them. But we also have Inter Milan. It's a tough group, isn't it?
Europa League.
You think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna knock Arsenal or Inter Milan.
It's a tough
Both
league.
teams are good at the moment, especially Arsenal. They're coming through our English league at the moment. Very, very good.
Yeah.
He's changed it now, and he's you can see his football is in Arsenal now, and he's got rid of the bad eggs. Bad eggs gone. They're gone. Now it's players who are playing for him now.
Yeah.
It's like watching Pep's team play, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Can't beat Man United though, can they?
Arsenal going to be an hard side.
Come on.
Spurs right behind them.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see how we get on with that one then. Let's simulate this third season. I'd like to think we can still get second. We haven't lost any of those players. It's just whether Barcelona have sorted themselves out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Barcelona more than likely have been given transfer money.
Yeah.
So they've probably spent. If I want to see it, to be fair, because if we go and look at the transfer history, oh, they might not have actually spent. They haven't spent for the last 2 years. For some reason, and they've only brought in Victor Lindelof, which I would suggest weakens their team.
That's a hell of a sign.
Victor Lindelof, come on. So, I mean, last season as well, they sold 121 million. They sold Frankie de Jong to Man City.
Do you know, I think the actual game here is actually playing to real life, how we know it, that Barcelona are in a lot of money trouble.
Yeah, well, 100%.
I mean, we can't figure out where they're getting the money to buy these players that they're buying.
Well, they just keep selling assets, don't they?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You know,
mental.
in a minute, it's going to come to a crunch, isn't it? And
yeah.
You can see, like, Barcelona just being...
Yeah, they're going to have to change their name because they've had to refold something. But, okay, what about Real Madrid? Are they spending money? Because they're obviously winning things. They got Jurgen Klopp as manager, so hello. Carlo Ancelotti is gone. They spent £27 million on Oscar Minguenza, but no, they all $161 million the season before. Yeah. Kingsley Coman, who has won a league title every single year of his existence in professional football, joins Real Madrid, wins them the league. What a shock. Yeah. And Barrenza is there for £51 million as well, so they have spent a lot of money in the last couple of years. Okay, let's simulate the third season, see how we get on. We're back down to third place.
Barcelona sorted themselves out.
Yeah. We're still getting a high tally of points. We lost less games than what we did, but 83 points. Did we finish on that last year? It was, yeah, 83. So consistent with the points. It's just that Barcelona, like we've mentioned, have sorted things out. They only lost 6 games this season. One of them was against us and Real Madrid there, both times. But Real Madrid win the league again. They only lost 3. One was against us. Come on. Credit where credit's due, but they win the league by 5 points there. It's tricky, isn't it? It's at this point, it's like, unless they give us the money, what are we supposed to do?
We ain't got any worse. We haven't dropped below that third position yet, have we? So
no, that's the good thing.
We're consistent at being the third best team in the league.
Yeah, and Ivan Nilsson once again wins the Golden Boot for the league against Robert Lewandowski. Got one more goal than him again, so that's good. That's fantastic. He's doing his job. The reason why we brought him in, but once again, Kingsley Coman's won the league title every single year he's been a professional footballer, which is bento. What about other competitions then? How have we done in the Champions League? Runners up of the Copa Del Rey. You see the trophy and it's such a tease, isn't it?
Yeah.
Such a tease. We'll look at the Champions League first.
that big behind it. You wouldn't
Yeah,
be able to
it's
see me.
massive. Absolutely huge. Your favourite one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other than the FA Cup, obviously. But there we go. Atletico Madrid were knocked out by Bayern Munich 4-0 on aggregate. Disappointing. What was the final? Who won the final? Lazio beat Liverpool. Oh, okay, so that stopped the run of English teams winning it, because that was 3 in a row there, the English team. So Lazio are now champions. We all know that's because of Ciro Immobile. He's just unbelievable on this game.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting how good he is. Okay, fair enough. What about the Copa del Rey then? Who beat us in the final? I bet it's Real Madrid. Yeah, of course it is. 4-1 against Real Madrid. Disappointing result there. Yeah. But as we say, it's kind of expected, really, isn't it? Kind of expected with how much money they're spending. And it looks like they've actually spent more money because they've brought in Gonzalo Ramos, who has scored 2 goals in this game. Valverde, who's a fantastic player. Minguenza, who they bought this season. Thomas Marr got our only goal of the game. We've got a tricky game against them every single time. You know, they battered us 5-0. So we know that they're a better team than us right now. And we're not getting any money to change that, to help us out. And unfortunately, João Felix, I mean, he's been injured again. So he's got broken foot. So we haven't had him, the last couple of games of the season. He missed the final, 7 weeks to 3 months. His valuation's going down again. So he's supposed to be our most valuable player. Sometimes I see him go for like 140 million.
Yeah.
So like Liverpool or City, somebody always takes a gamble on him. I mean, that would be great for us. That's the one thing I thought in my head. Well, if we're not giving any money every time, at least we can sell João Felix. But I ain't selling him for that cheap.
No.
That's the trouble. Goals-wise then, Ivan Nielsen, 36 goals this season. He's wanted now. Shocked by the 2 Manchester clubs and Bayern Munich, but again, I don't really want to sell him because he's been our only really good player. João Felix got 22 goals, 19 assists. That's better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. Rodrigo de Paul, 18 and 13. That's better as well. That's good.
That's where we dropped off, though. We never had the 4th goal scorer.
No, we didn't, because the next one's only on 6. Got a few on 6 there. Javi Galan managed to get a good amount of assists, as well as Danilo, who probably played right back there. So, yeah, we're missing that 3rd player coming in, or that 4th player coming in, really, aren't we? In double figures. Okay. Fair enough. Money, 24 million. I mean, it's better.
Well, it's 20 million more.
Yeah.
Roughly, isn't it? Right?
However, if we look at all of these players on the outs, that's our starting centre-back. That's our backup centre-back. So that's 2 of those players gone. So once they go, we might not have a lot of players left, especially who can play at centre-back. We got Jose Jimenez and we got Mario Hermoso, who can play centre-back. Other than that, we haven't really got anybody else. So we are in a little bit of trouble. That will be the first place we look for in this pre-season. Let's go over to that pre-season. Now, we also sold Saul, who he's been at the club since he was a boy. He's obviously went on loan to Chelsea. It didn't really work out last season. He only moved to £7.5 million. He did not have a very good valuation either, and he kicked up a fuss, wanted to leave. Sevilla was the club to come in. He is fantastic. I should have tried to keep him around, but he kicked up such a fuss in the end. I was like, just go. Just go. So we have brought in, obviously, a midfielder last season in Patrick Berg. I have brought in another one, Danilo, who is going to be his outright replacement. I think he's almost just as good, and he does have the potential to get there as well. Plus, he's younger.
23.
23, yeah. So he's starting off in his prime almost. 12.5 million pound from Palmeiras in Brazil. Let's take a look though, because we have signed a centre-back from Red Bull Salzburg. It's Oumar Saleh, French, 24 years of age. He's powerful, he's 6'4", he's quick, strong, agile. I like him a lot. We've used him before. He's good.
I've watched him a couple of times. He's not bad.
I like him. Yeah. For I think Salzburg got some really good players. When I like watching him in the Champions League. I remember that Bayern Munich game was really good. So for £18.75 million to be a starting centre back, not bad at all. But I've also brought in another striker. Thiago Tomas. We've used him previously. I think it was, obviously he was at the Sporting one and the Stuttgart rebuild. We've had him before. But he's very good and he's powerful and he's aggressive. He likes to beat the offside trap. He's just one of these players who are just really good in the match engine.
Yeah.
Now, he might not have scored many goals last season, but he only had 2 starts and 18 appearances from the bench. So he wasn't getting used at Sporting like he was previously at Stuttgart, which was a poor team in the Bundesliga, getting 12 goals in 28 games.
Good, yeah.
So I think that's actually a good record.
Yeah.
£16 million is what we spent to bring him into the club. I think that's worth it.
Another young lad, so that's good.
Yeah, we spent, if we take away probably the £5 million there, so we spent about £47 million in total on these 3 players here, as well as the £7 million on the out, and a couple of players obviously leaving on free transfers. So tactically then, we are still going with this, but I haven't changed anything. I'm not securing anything because now we've got the likes of Tomas and Ivan Nielsen, who can play up front. João Felix obviously can play there as well. It might be a mistake not having Tomas secured in a position, but right now I'm struggling to think where we pick him.
Yeah.
So as a rotational player for this first season, we'll see how he does. We got one more season after this to then make amends and make changes. But we were consistent with the points last season.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We got to a cup final.
Yeah.
I want to see one more time whether the progression continues.
Yeah. I got a little story for you.
Okay.
If you go back to where the kits are,
yeah,
you know I like my little stories with the kits.
Oh yes.
And we have talked about this story before.
From the Bilbao one, I believe.
Yeah, and it's the blue is what caught my eye really. Why we play the two kits are in the blue.
Yeah.
And that goes back to we formed in 1903. From 1903 to 1911, I think it was, we played in blue and white stripes, which was, we used to buy the second-hand Blackburn kit.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course we did. Why wouldn't they have done that?
Yeah. So after they got fed up with that, they said they sent a former member of a former player who was now a member on the board over to England to try and find a new kit supplier, and he couldn't find one, and he got to Southampton ready to come home, and he went into a shop and bought a load of Southampton shirts, and he come back, and I think we've talked about it before, but I think he come back with like 30 shirts, and he kept 15 for Atletico Madrid and give 15 to Atletico Bilbao.
Yeah.
And that's why both teams play in red and white now.
Crazy, isn't it?
Good story, but you know, if you've ever heard it before, it's a good story.
Was like England the only place who had the ability to create a t-shirt?
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because everybody else, like, I don't know what I'm doing. No. God knows.
We'll just go to England and get a kit from over there.
Apparently they're good at textiles over there. But yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's why the away kits, I reckon, are a blue. We started off as blue.
Yeah, and they got it in their badge, and they've always had it in their badge as well, haven't they? So, all right, fair enough. Nice one. Okay, let's take a look at the schedule then. We've played a couple of games so far this season. The first game did not go too well. A loss to Alaves, 2-0, which is one of the smallest stadiums, I think, in the league. I believe that's quite a tiny stadium, only 27,000 capacity there. Actually,
close though.
Yeah, it's 27. I don't expect it to be like that. That looks tiny. I wonder whether this stand here is a lot bigger. And then a 2-0 win at home to Levante, Ivan Nielsen with both goals. So he's back firing on form. We have alluded to this new stadium that they've built. Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's renovated, isn't it? Because it was renovated. It was already built in 1994, and then they've obviously done it up again. What is the food like? Yeah. Atletico Madrid fans, let us know. What's the food like? We found out some interesting stuff about the Fenerbahce one last week.
Food's not very nice there, apparently.
No,
very expensive.
Fans always go and drink and eat before they go in the ground because they don't want to spend the money because it's too expensive.
They will drink if they win.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let us know whether the food's nice, what type of food it is, everything like that. Is it cheap? Is it expensive? I'd like to know all of those things. Maybe you've been there on an away day for a Champions League tie. I feel sorry for you. You probably watched a horrendous game of football, but you might have done that.
Stuck up in the gods as well. But
yeah, probably. So, okay, fair enough. Right, that's how we've done so far this season. Our Champions League group then, let's take a look at it. We've got the holders, Lazio and Chelsea and Sporting. That's our toughest group yet.
Yeah.
That's our toughest group yet.
Well, we're open for Europa League football again, I think.
Yeah. Maybe we'll actually win something then.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Let's simulate this for season and see how we do. Fourth season and we're still in third place.
82 points.
82 points, just one short of what we was last season. Oh, this is such a tricky rebuild. Okay, 82 points.
We lost six
losses. 2 against Real Madrid. Another 5-0 loss as well, which is unfortunate. Barcelona are back, winning the league, Dad. 98 points. Only losing 2. One of them was against us. 1-0, what a shock.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid lost 5 games in total there. Okay, tricky. What can you do? Do we have the top score of the league again? We do. 29 goals. He's doing his job every single time.
Yeah, you can't knock him.
No,
what he's done, can you?
No, absolutely. Santi Mina is also up there with Robert Lewandowski, so they're in good company there. Okay, other competitions then. Maybe a cup win. Can we see it? No. So we won the Super Coppa, which obviously because we got to the cup final last season, beaten by the champions, we go in there automatically. Again, it's Bayern Munich who's knocking us out in the first round. So at least we're qualifying out of that group against the champions.
So we've knocked a good team out, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at that in a sec. We lost 2-0 on aggregate to Bayern Munich. So we drew 0-0 in the first leg, lost in the away leg, I'd imagine there. So that's disappointing. Some big results there.
I can see Sporting there. Wasn't Sporting the other team was in our group? So
it was.
Two top teams
so Chelsea and Lazio were eliminated. What, you would never have guessed that, would you?
No.
That group looks like it's upside down. Okay, so we topped the group. Yeah. We lost 2 games against Chelsea and Sporting away.
So what does that tell you?
Win
We
your
won
home
our home
games.
games.
We drew
We
against
come
Lazio at home, which put us top of the league. But Chelsea, despite winning 2 games, finishing bottom, and Lazio went through to Europa League.
Gotta say, it's a big surprise they sacked their manager.
What, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite shocked with that. I mean, Graham Potter, fantastic.
Oh, I'm really pleased for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we've always said right from the beginning, we've always liked him, and he will come good as a top manager. He needed a break.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a break for him.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he deserves it.
Chelsea were going to be one of the first teams to sack their manager this season.
I mean, the only trouble is, it's Chelsea who'd like to sack their manager, and I'd feel really bad if Potter did. And also, I really can't stand Gareth Southgate. And if Graham Potter had been the perfect person to replace him, I'd have stuck him in before the World Cup as well. We're about to watch the England-Germany game after we lost against Italy the other day, and he's just picked the exact same squad.
We've just been talking about the
and it's like,
England team now, and we just can't believe the team that he's just named.
Boring football. When he came in, I'm not going to pick players who are favourites, so I'm going to pick players on form. Liar.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we'll move on from international
Gareth,
football.
You're a liar.
Yeah. I'm sure he watches. Sat there in his waistcoat with a beer, and he's like, what? No, he would never get that irate, because he's not that type of person. He's way too calm. Boring as hell. His favourite colour is grey. Let's take a look then at the squad. Who scored what? 39 goals for Ivan Nielsen. That's good.
Yeah.
18 for João Felix. Again, another injury at the end of the season. 16th of May. 14 goals for Thomas Lemar, 10 for Rodrigo de Paul, and again, assist-wise, we're around about the same. So, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, we're not pushing them further, and I think we might need to change something at the end of the season. Thiago Tomas barely played, like, 4 appearances from the bench,
We just haven't got the transfer money to bring in someone to make the squad better.
Yeah.
We're bringing in players that are as good as what we're losing.
Yeah.
And we're consistent.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You can't compete against these two teams.
No, we've been given £14 million and a little bit of a wage budget. So
to compete with these two teams, you've got to be looking at transfer about 100 million for about 3 seasons in a row, and and you've got to be bringing in 2 or 3 good players.
It's got players around them.
Yeah,
100%. I agree. Which is kind of what they pushed to do a few seasons ago. They brought in João Felix. They brought Luis Suarez in. They won a league.
Yeah.
Doing just that.
Yeah.
But obviously, when they lost all these players now and haven't really replaced them, they now seem to have a little bit of money trouble, which I think we're suffering from. So thank you very much. Okay, 5th season then. Who do we bring in? Let's find out. Now, I sold Thomas Lemar. He scored a few goals for us. He's 29 years of age now. I sold him to Roma for £20 million. For some reason, the valuations of our players are just nowhere near where I would expect them to be. No. It was the most I could potentially get for him.
I think what it is, they know that we got no money.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can just put in a bid. It's the same as when you're a buying team, and you're like Man City, like Man United.
Yeah.
Like Man United was desperate the other day.
Just get
we'll
ripped
just
off.
stick an extra 10 million on the price.
Yeah.
They'll pay it.
Yeah. We'll take 30 million for him, but if it's Man United, it's 50.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes. Okay, so the reason for that was the players that we brought in. Leandro Paredes, a free transfer, centre midfielder from Juventus. I think it's a good signing as well. He's quality all the way around. I like him a lot. Isaac Johansson, £18.25 million. This guy can play almost everywhere on the pitch. Again, that's one of the main reasons why I brought him in. And he's actually quite decent, to be fair, as well.
25 caps at 22. It's good. He does look a young lad, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, this is 5 years on, obviously. He's 22 now. So at the start of the game, he's only 17. So that's probably why his picture is.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah. Player trait gets into opposition areas. One of the main reasons why I signed him. I like a centre midfielder that does that, because that tends to mean they do sometimes score goals. £18.25 million is what we signed him for. Not a bad signing. But the highlight was a £20 million up to 26 for Paulo Bernardo from Benfica. Another centre midfielder. 3 centre midfielders. There's a reason for it. We are moving away from wingers. Now, after being exactly the same for like 4 seasons in position-wise, choosing 2 tactics, I'm going for my trusted Genoa Diamond. Right. It's done us well in the past when we've used diamond formations. It's probably my favourite tactic on FM22. It means that we can now give Thiago Tomas a game as a pressing forward up front. That's where I think he will thrive. Paulo Bernardo in a box-to-box midfielder, and then that leaves the centre attacking midfielder role there for any one of these players, very talented players, to come in and do some damage. Okay, so schedule-wise, it started off very well. 3-0 against Rayo Vallecano, 3-1 against Real Valladolid, and Mallorca, a 3-0 win, a 3-1 win as well.
Good start.
Yeah, so 9 goals. It means obviously we're scoring a lot more goals. Our Champions League group, again, is a tricky one. Atalanta and Bayern Munich. But at this point, Atalanta should have started losing most of their best players.
Yeah.
So they tend to like tail off a little bit once they start retiring and do
So you would be disappointed if we don't come first or second.
Yeah.
Really.
Obviously, Bayern Munich, we know they're always going to be a powerhouse. They've got Julian Nagelsmann still there. Fantastic stadium, isn't it? He's one of the best managers on the game. De Ligt is there still. So they are very, very good indeed. Okay, predictions for the final season. What do you think?
Third.
Come on. Give us that bronze medal. We are yet to win a trophy yet, and we haven't done, I don't remember many rebuilds where we haven't won anything, especially with a team as good as Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So all the pressure is on. Final season, let's simulate. Final season. Oh. Would you believe it?
83 points.
83 points, 3rd place, and we were 2nd place into the final game of the season, where Real Madrid overtaken us. But is it against? Oh, we did play Real Madrid at the end. Though.
Look at the 3 games.
Yeah,
we lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
and that's what cost us being in 2nd place, really.
Absolutely. 98 points for Barcelona. One of their losses was against us, so we absolutely destroyed them at home. 3-0.
Yeah.
1 2nd place, 4 3rd place finishes. And no Ivan Nielsen at the top there. Robert Lewandowski with 24, so he's dropped off for the goals.
I mean, 24 is not very good now, is it? To win the Golden Boot.
No, absolutely. Especially Lewandowski. Normally he's scoring more than that. He must be like 39 now. How old is he? 37.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Still amazing. What about other competitions then? Come on. Win a trophy, please. No. Might be our first trophyless rebuild in a very long time, but a semi-final exit by Barcelona.
We stayed in the Champions League and we got to the
quarter-final by Manchester City, who knocked us out 3-2. We won one of the legs, and then they knocked us out after beating us 3-0.
Did they go on and win it?
Let's take a look. If we look at the final,
3 English teams in there again?
They beat Bayern Munich in the final 3-2. So disappointing, very disappointing. And they've got Mbappe. So Erling Haaland and Mbappe. What was the point? Just give them the trophy straight away. I wonder who the manager is now. Oh, that's where Don Carlo went.
Yeah, that's why he left.
And Jurgen Klopp came to Real Madrid instead.
And he's won another European Champions League Cup.
He's just with another club. That's his 6th, is it?
Got to be something like that.
Yeah, I think that's his 6th different club that he's won.
What a manager.
Champions League with, something like that.
What a manager. He'll go down as probably the greatest manager
4th,
ever.
maybe. Yeah, oh, 100%. Sir Alex.
You only done one team, though.
Aberdeen?
Well.
Come on. Aberdeen fans are going, oi!
Hey, I'm just getting absolutely slaughtered.
The Copa del Rey. Who won the Copa del Rey? It was Real Madrid who beat Barcelona in the final. An El Clasico final. Yeah. Bore off. Goals-wise, 26 for João Felix. Ivan Nielsen got 23. Thiago Tomas did get 21.
Our best season for goal scorers, look.
Yeah, 5 spread out across.
And 4 of them in the 20s.
It's just disappointing.
And we've still only got 83 points.
Right, Patreon members then. This is probably the worst team I'm going to give you. Yeah. And you've only got £20 million. It's been such a tricky rebuild because of the financial difficulties that Atletico Madrid have. So what is the task, Dad?
It's got to be an easy one, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 parts, though. The first part is get 2nd or 1st.
Yeah,
which was because we only got 2nd once, but get 2nd or 1st.
That's the winning spirit. Get 2nd.
And the second part of it is to win
a trophy.
Win a trophy. Yeah.
We came close. We were runners up in the Copa del Rey. But yeah, I'm absolutely gutted that we haven't managed to do something.
Be even better if it's a European trophy, but win a trophy and come 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah,
that's your challenge. Second or 1st, sorry.
Yeah,
that's the challenge. Let us know if you do it. You've done a lot better than what we've done. We tried.
Absolutely. £5 tier should you wish to take it on patreon.com/Megaloo Gaming. All of the former rebuilds are on there, so it's not just this one. If you pay your £5, it's a back catalogue of all of the former rebuilds, so you get all of them.
There's some really
good
ones on there.
Yeah, because I dare say you might not want to take this one on. But thank you to everybody who does support me on Patreon, nonetheless. And of course, the next week will also be on there as well. Is he trying to sell it like you don't just have to get this one? But yes, of course, let us know what the food's like, everything like that. Any other suggestions towards this very end of the season for this obviously FM22 year-long game cycle? If you want to see at the end any like weird challenges or anything like that, let us know before we take on FM23's rebuilds. And of course, any starting rebuilds for FM23 you think is a good team for us to do the very first rebuild with. I'll be very interested to find out, because I haven't really decided yet. I'm kind of like, there's a couple of teams in my head, but I want to see where they are when we get to that
Well,
point of the game being
There'll
released.
be a few surprises coming up before the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then the game comes out while the World Cup's on, is it?
I think so. Well, 8th of November, so a couple of weeks later. And
so when
then
the season virtually comes to a halt.
Yeah.
For everybody, really.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what teams are where and who gets sacked.
Yeah, very weird season that we've got in front of us. But thank you very much for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next Monday for another rebuild. Bye-bye.